Good afternoon, Biblioteka. Welcome on VH Berries.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Victor.
What's up? This is Hex from Biblioteka. What's up, Victor?
And this is Mary from Biblioteca.
Within a few seconds in, I can feel that everyone in your group has superpowers because at any Seattle restaurant, you're the only customers allowed to have a biblio takeout.
Oh my god, that's so good. A biblioteka.
Oh, biblioteca. Oh my gosh, I've never heard that one. Oh, that's great. We love puns.
We do. We love puns so much. My whole job of a tour is to say as many puns until everybody is super annoyed by me.
He does a great job.
Yeah, I usually write all my puns on a piece of paper because they are terrible.
Boo.
Absolutely. Hexx Rodriguez may have better puns than me, and due to my inability to play any instrument or to sing, I am forced to dine in. But hopefully every Seattle restaurant is now playing Biblioteka on Bluetooth bass stereo speakers with some little red tape to fix the cables.
Yes, every single restaurant from north to south, east to west, you can find us being played on their little stereos.
Yes. Everywhere. From north to south to east to west.
Especially West Seattle.
From east to west, and especially East Seattle. And as you just mentioned, you are Mary Robins and Hexx Rodriguez forming a Biblioteka, and you created a sound that everyone wants to hear. And this moment for me is the bibliofusion of passion and gratitude. How are you doing today?
We're doing pretty all right. We're a little tired because we just got back from our first international tour. We played Mexico City and New York for the first time ever. And yeah, we're looking forward to being back at home.
Yeah, now we're back at home. We rested for 24 hours. And now we're getting ready to play some more. So we got like 3 more shows to round up the rest of our tour. Including our first time playing at an awesome record store called Easy Street Records. Shout out to Easy Street Records in West Seattle. And yeah, we're just getting super excited. We're actually working on getting some costumes. So if you want to know what our costumes are going to be, because we haven't told anybody, we're going to be the characters from a movie called They Live. John Carpenter's They Live.
Absolutely. Biblioteka, Hexx Rodriguez and Mary Robins, you just came back from 48 hours of intense touring back in the house, because I believe that the only screening of House was happening in the house.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, no screaming in the house. Definitely not. It was more of us resting. I think we slept for 13 hours because on tour we kind of got a little sick and did not sleep. I think the most sleep we've got every night was about 4 hours. There was a lot of nights where it was like 4 of us sleeping in a studio apartment. Sure, maybe we were in Manhattan in a beautiful place, but it was pretty cozy, if you know what I mean.
It was actually a metaphor and a double meaning with the word house because your very recent EP is inspired from a movie called House.
Yes.
We do love movies.
Yep. House from 1977. It's such a beautiful movie.
Yeah, I think my favorite character from that is is she called Big Mac? Mac, because she loves to eat, and I love to eat food.
And I think the lead was called Gorgeous, was her name. They all had such sweet, silly names.
The characters of the movie House were having very interesting names, as you just mentioned. And during that screening of that feature film called House, I can imagine Mary Robbins stealing the pillow from Hexx Rodriguez's back, which caused an intense baggage that has trouble leaving Hexx's physical back.
That's pretty much exactly what happened. Yeah. I've always avoided scary movies, but this one was an exception. It was so beautiful, and it got me more into scary movies and scary stories, like the one my mother used to tell me about, the Kikimora, which is a ghost that lives inside of the furnace or in dark corners of the house.
Yes, this movie definitely inspired us to like write a few songs. So it was just a great inspiration. Like a lot of our music we write is usually inspired by the things that surround us, and this album was heavily inspired by not only like that movie, but we watched another movie called Fantastique Planète. It's like a old French film. And as well as doing a lot of psychedelics. We do like to partake in those, and they open your mind.
Furthermore, in this very particular situation, Biblioteka, Hexx Rodriguez probably said those words, "It's hot, hurry," which are the first words opening that feature film called House. Can you tell us a little bit more about these very particular influences?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, our particular influences, from film itself, we that really inspires us when we want to talk, have a lot of inspiration about like what sets the mood, the vibe in a song, right? We have like, musical influences as well, like the bands like Cramps. We like other bands like Sonic Youth, Pixies. Very influenced by the 90s, as you could tell. And as well as by Seattle, the grunge scene. So bands like Nirvana were definitely big influences. The Breeders, Hole, like Courtney Love is definitely a big influence on Mary. And but we love gaining influences from movies. So our biggest favorite like movies is like, we watched House, but we also love David Lynch films. So like Blue Velvet or Wild at Heart. It's a really good movie that we like to watch. And like I said, a lot of like weird movies, weird like cult movies. Rocky Horror Picture Show, I think that was another one that really inspired the last record we did. But yeah, I think just spending the time like watching films, because I feel like we weren't really watching any movies until the pandemic hit, and we got really into movies. Well, specifically Mary. I think I was a little into them, but we started sharing that together. Like, and after watching a movie, we just pick up guitars and start just writing whatever just kind of we feel at that moment. Obviously, scary movies does spark an emotion, so it's easier to write and be inspired by horror films, especially like horror films from the 70s and 80s. are better. Recent horror films are a little too gruesome and too real. I like more playing on the imagination.
Yeah, I feel like those older ones have more artistic elements too. There's not as a heavy use of CGI, so people had to get more creative and seeing, the special effects and John Carpenter's They Live, seeing the special effects, makeup, all that stuff. It really piques the imagination.
It really comes to show in like our performances as well. We love to use like a lot of outfits and makeup and whatnot to really inspire, and as well as our literally back bending moves.
Absolutely, Mary Robbins and Hexx Rodriguez, and in the movie House, the special effects were purposely made to look unrealistic, exactly like the VFX and post-production that Julian Tennyson did for the video clip of She's Bad.
Yeah, Jules did a fantastic job capturing the essence of Biblioteka with the special effects and She's Bad. And that whole music video was super fun for us to film. We filmed in an abandoned ballroom and we used a rooftop on a historic building in downtown Seattle, which is pretty hard to find. And yeah, it was a great time, also going out and partying too as part of the music video.
Yeah, definitely. I love that we use this abandoned building. I think it was an old, what is it called?
I think it was an Oddfellows.
Oddfellows, but it was like Freemasons.
Masonic
It was a Masonic temple from like the 1920s. Has been abandoned for a really long time. Our friends let us use it. We filmed on the rooftop as well. I'm pretty sure it was haunted. I was told somebody did die in the elevator. I never saw a ghost, so I feel like I definitely was left out on that end. But I guess we haunted the place, so maybe our future spirits will haunt that place.
It's always been my dream to become a ghost and haunt my favorite places and haunt the people there.
Hunting the people by, for example, becoming a ghost and doing the same faces, Mary Robbins, as the same way you were looking at that business card in this video clip.
Oh yeah, that face. It's my what's his name? My Robert De Niro face. Like that. It's like you just imagine smelling something really unpleasant, and then that's the face. You just kind of lean into it just a little. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Biblioteka, there is also a very powerful symbol all along the imagery of Kikimora, this latest EP, which are two bracelets on the arm of Mary Robbins with a red and white pearls bracelets on respectively the right and the left arm. Can you tell us a little bit more about the very profound meaning of that accessories?
First of all, I'm very impressed that you observed that. I don't think anybody else has brought that up to me. But the red bracelet is carnelian, which is supposed to be for creativity and protection. And the white one is also a hair tie because I often need to tie up my hair to get the job done.
I didn't know they had any meanings. I thought they were both just used for hair. Just wanted to add that.
But if you find meaning in it yourself, Victor, too, I'd be happy to hear what your interpretation may be on this.
I may not have Mary Robins and Hexx Rodriguez a particular explanation for those two red and black bracelets, but I maybe have one for the Rainier, which is an American brewery based in Seattle, Washington, and Hexx by holding that pack of beer, especially at the end of the video clip. You are supporting the entire Seattleite economy.
Oh my God, Rainier is like, if you come to any party with a 12 pack of Rainier, you're pretty much going to be the most popular person in the party. I'm just saying. But yeah, Rainier is literally the default Seattle beer. You can't go to any bar without having Rainier. If they don't have Rainier, walk out the door. You don't need to be there. And Rainier should not cost more than like $5 or $6. So if someone's charging like 8 or 10, get the heck out of there. That place ain't for you. You should be going to your local dive bar, your local haunt, where you can get those beers for $3-4 and just have a great time. And we call them, you know what we call them here? We call them Roniers. If you know what a Ronier is, you're from Seattle, right, Mary?
Yeah, and you're also fancier for calling it Ronier.
Those packs of Rainier definitely gave you some inspirations for that EP, Kikimora, and I would love to discuss about the creative process behind this piece of art. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
For sure. Well, we like to joke here in Seattle, they call it, I don't know if you ever heard the term California sober, but we have a Seattle sober, or as they call it, Seattle speedball, which is caffeine, so a lot of coffee, a little marijuana, and maybe one can of Rainier beer. That's a great mix to get yourself started for the creative process. Get those creative juices flowing and pop in a movie, a nice 70s like cult classic film, get your imagination like flowing, and it's time to pick up some guitars and writing some music. And then that's pretty much what we do. Me and Mary enjoy doing this pretty often, and we could probably like write songs like 2, 3, 4 songs if we felt like it. But truth is, sometimes we take a little bit overboard and there is no writing because there's a little too many beers being drank.
It's a delicate balance, but if done right, it can really jumpstart the creativity.
But yeah, that's pretty much the process. Usually it's either Mary coming up with a really cool like melody, or she came up with some really great lyrics, and then I'll hop on and like play a guitar or put a little riff on it, or come up with a little composition. And yeah, I mean, that's how we've been writing music for the last few years. It's either between her or I that usually start the song up, but we usually help each other finish the songs. So each song is a collaborative process. Wouldn't you agree, Mary?
Yeah, that sums it up in a nutshell, I would say. Yeah, I have a lot of fun in this creative process, as Hexx has neatly outlined the process out.
You do have a lot of fun in this creative process, Mary Robins and Hexx Rodriguez. And as you just mentioned, this is a delicate balance. And to come back to Kikimora, there are actually 3 tracks. She's Bad, Wig Out, and the eponymous title, Kikimora. Personally, what is your favorite one out of the three, especially because you're three members in Biblioteka?
It's hard to choose. It's like trying to choose your favorite child, but in this case, my favorite child is probably She Is Bad. I wrote this song partially inspired by the Shangri-Las Give Him a Great Big Kiss. It's a cute old song where they have this talking part where they say, "Oh, he's bad, but he's good bad, not evil." And then I realized, hey, you know what? Women in general don't usually get that how would you say it? That kind of flack? Yeah, that kind of slack. Women aren't given that kind of slack the way men are. And so I wanted to write a song about being a bad girl, but not evil.
Yeah, it's okay for women to be bad. Like, felt like for generations, women always had to be goody-goodies or good girls. Otherwise, if you're bad, you're an evil person. But that's not true. You can be a bad girl and still be nice.
Yeah. Besides, I'm a rock and roller, and haven't so many rock and roller dudes been bad in the past?
Right on.
Absolutely, Mary Robins and Hexx Rodriguez, that song called She's Bad is literally changing an entire generation, because now people growing up are telling that they want to become Biblioteka, and their parents believes that they want to become librarians.
That's how we get them. Biblioteka is for the kids.
Only in the U.S. would be a librarian be, a tough job, since you got a lot of people trying to ban books. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, libraries are pretty punk, actually, because you get these people trying to, withhold information.
Trying to cancel some knowledge.
They are trying to cancel the knowledge and to share all of this joy and your passion for music. Hexx Rodriguez and Mary Robins, you are actually doing a lot of concerts that are part of a tour called She's Bad. And you actually have, as the day of today, 3 remaining dates. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we are having our vinyl release show at legendary Easy Street Records in West Seattle, as Hexx mentioned earlier. It's an honor to get to play this place, named one of the best record stores in the country. Then we will be embarking to Tacoma, Washington, outside of our hometown, and we will be also playing at the legendary Freak Out Festival in Ballard, Washington on Saturday, November 4th. So that's always a big fun event where we get to meet many bands from all over the world. We recently met up with a band called Black Maracas from Spain and played shows with them in New York. They'll also be at Freak Out Festival.
So with the Death Valley girls that we played in Mexico will be also there. So yeah, just get to be reconnecting with a bunch of old friends, and we're so excited. I mean, Freak Out Fest is it's a psych fest, so you can only imagine how fun that is for us, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. You are looking forward to play those 3 remaining concerts at the Easy Street Records, the Real Art Tacoma, as well as the Freak Out Fest as the conclusion of the She's Bad tour. And I would love Mary Robins and Hexx Rodriguez to discuss about the beginning of the Biblioteka band because you started that adventure in 2019. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes. So when we started playing music, I was trying to start a project, and I met Mary through a mutual friend, and asked her if she wanted to start a band, and asked her if she knew how to play bass, because at the time she was playing guitar. And she told me she did play bass, so then we started like jamming. But I guess I'll have Mary tell you, but what I didn't know is she didn't know how to play bass. She told a little white lie.
Yeah, and so that same day when we met and Hexx asked if I knew how to play the bass, on my way home, I stopped at the guitar shop and picked the cheapest bass I could find and went home and started practicing and teaching myself and learning. And I'd like to say I've come a very long way since then, now being able to sing and play and dance while playing and singing. It's all really good fun, and it's, fulfilling my dream of always wanting to be in a band. So this is very cool, I guess.
Yeah, and I got to do a really cool project with her, and like we really shared a lot of the same interests. So like being able to just grow from each other, really and coming up with what we came up with now, it's like I didn't think this would happen. I thought our band would probably fizzle out by the pandemic time, because at that time we weren't really writing anymore, and so we were going to probably stop. But I don't know what happened. There was just something that happened where we wrote a lot of songs, which ended up being on the Pretty Ugly record, and we got a lot of attention, so we just kept going and writing. And then these few songs that we released on vinyl, it's our first vinyl, is just the introduction to our new, we're going to be recording another full-length record. And you'll find these songs on there as well. So it should be a 13-song LP, which we will also be releasing on vinyl. So stay tuned for 2024. Oh my goodness.
2024 is
Wow.
next year. That's in just a couple months now.
Yeah, but it'll be like summer 2024.
It's going to be a good year.
This
Knock on wood.
is going to be a great year, 2024, especially in the city of Seattle. And when I am hearing your voices, Mary Robins and Hexx Rodriguez, I feel that this is your favorite place on earth. What is and how would you describe this relationship between Seattle, Hexx, and Mary?
Well, for me, I wasn't born in Seattle. I was born in Texas, but I moved around a lot and grew up spent some time in my teenage years in Portland, Oregon. So I really enjoyed the Northwest. But what I really loved was music from the 90s, especially like I mentioned earlier, like grunge music. So Seattle was very special for me, and I really wanted to move here. So I came to study in Seattle, and I stayed. So my relationship with Seattle is pretty much just trying to find a place, trying to find a home, and then really lamenting that, cementing that cementing me in the scene here. So so people remember me here in Seattle as I am a part of this city. But yeah, for Mary, I think she's from Seattle, right?
That is correct. I'm a Seattle girl through and through.
Born and raised.
Born and raised, yes. Unlike these posers over here. I'm just kidding. But I grew up going to many shows in Seattle, getting involved in the all ages scene at the Vera Project and volunteering there, trying to get involved in music any way I can. And for a brief stint, our camera. Oh,
I am looking forward to listen to that upcoming LP coming out next summer. And in conclusion, I am probably the reason why your pretty ugly album poster was successfully sold out. Not because I spoke about it, but because I bought it yesterday morning at 9 a.m.
oh, thank you, Victor. And thank you for reminding me. I still need to get that shipped out for you. So, so I'm going to have to do that after we're finished here. Get that wrapped up nice for you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for giving us work to do. I'm just kidding. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Biblioteka, Mary Robins and Hexx Rodriguez.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you, Victor.